Okay, today's episode, I want to talk about triple tank on defense on Convoy and why I think it's not being utilized enough and why I think it can be successful. Last night, we had a game where we decided to give it a try and it worked out really well. And I think it works out really well for the same reason that Captain America worked out well in season 1.5, and also the same reason why triple support works so well early on. Triple support works so well because as long as you staggered your ultimates in the right order and you didn't overlap and double ult at the same time, you could basically indefinitely just hold down the convoy as long as possible. With support ults getting nerfed, that became less and less effective over time, so you see less and less triple support comps being played. Then Captain America season 1.5, everyone said he was D tier, and I had a 96% win rate on Captain America. For convoy maps specifically, all the way up, this was all the way up into Celestial 2. And the reason why that works so well is because of the fact that Captain America had great sustainability, great survivability, not great damage. Now he's got better damage and less survivability. So the same strategy can still work, but not to the same effectiveness as it was before. It was very irritating before. It did get nerfed for a reason, and I do think it's healthier for the game in the long run. However, now with all of those things no longer being viable, what's happening here on defense on Convoy is we're running triple tank because our goal isn't necessarily to secure a lot of kills. It's literally just to keep the objective from moving as much as possible. Here on offense, we were able to take it all the way to the third point. So what we're trying to do from the very beginning to up until the end is just run the clock out as much as we can. So that way we only need to win realistically one fight in overtime to win the game. So from the very beginning, the reason why I believe this works so well is because of the team comp that we chose. Captain America, really good at stalling the objective, really good at jumping on the payload, buying time, pulling attention, and then rejoining with his team. Emma Frost, good damage, good peel, really solid tank all around. She's one of the best in the game right now for obvious reasons. Magneto, of course, a very versatile tank. Rocket is fantastic at being able to even just like solo heal the team if he wanted to, but also keeping distance, and really, really handy for tanks who don't require a lot of very fast burst healing. And the AoE heals can do pretty good with him. Cloak and Dagger charges her ultimate faster, I think, than all the other supports. And Psylocke, this is where I think this DPS in hindsight works so successfully. A good Psylocke player is really good into this team composition because what tanks can do is apply a lot of pressure, but what they lack is the ability to burst and secure kills. Psylocke is really good at getting final hits. So having her paired with 3 tanks and 2 very survivable supports, I think really helped this team comp all around. Also, Psylocke is one of the DPS heroes that is typically alive most often. She doesn't die very often. So all around, we have a very survivable team. We have, we have a good plan for final hits, and we have a good plan for stall. So I'll walk you through what we were doing here on defense. Here, I'm getting into position, and I see Psylocke was up on the other side. I was going to try and dive in first to pull the attention so she could jump on someone else. But as she starts to get pushed out, I jump on the back line to distract their supports. But I tried to get back towards the convoy, so that way, as long as I am touching the convoy's not moving. This is what I want to do. This is the plan. I am going to just try and run the clock out. Thing really messes up my ability to get out, but luckily I get out and I stabilize. This is very, very crucial, and I see tanks do mistaking this all the time in all the way into Celestial. They take a lot of damage and then they think that the support should just keep healing them all the time. What you need to do as a tank is, as you take damage, jump out, get to your supports, stabilize, get your health back, and then go back in. Sometimes your supports are reloading. Sometimes your supports are healing each other because they're being dove. Sometimes they're trying to secure a kill because it happened to be in front of them. It is not their job to constantly pump you full of heals all the time. You are not the main character of this game. There is a ton of stuff going on at once. So make their jobs easier by jumping back, regaining your health, and then once it's regained and you have your abilities, go back in like I do. So here, I'm applying pressure, and I'm just trying to push them back. I'm just trying to get close to the objective. You can see here, once again, I'm starting to take too much damage. I jump out into Cloak and Dagger's bubble. I'm sitting behind this thing, using this as cover, and standing near my teammates so that way I can get healed. As I back out, now we take turns. Now the mag cycles in and starts to hold that space along with Emma. And then once my health comes back and I have my abilities, I can go back in and assist my team with whatever might be going on. Seeing the Thors on the back and seeing that we're starting to get pushed out, I start to back up with my team. Thor, I know, has a lot of damage, so he's pretty scary. But with the damage amplification and him being isolated away from his team, I help Cloak and Dagger secure the kill. Unfortunately, I know that we don't have the pressure here because our team has died. So I am running out to get to a position to where I can stall the payload. Cloak and Dagger ults onto the point, and this buys us time, right? Right now, as I'm jumping back in and I'm punching, I'm just trying to build my ult up and pull out resources. What I'm not trying to do is ultimately secure any kills. I know I am not going to, but I know that now that we have a Punisher here, Punisher can. Punisher is also really good at applying damage and securing kills, so it's a good swap. Here, once again, I start to chase the support out, and Thor scares me because he's got a lot of damage. So I am mostly just trying to survive. Because once again, as long as the convoy isn't moving, we are performing the strategy successfully. Here, follow up on the support who's left over. Our Magneto had also switched to Doctor Strange in order to get us back faster, which is a really good idea. The Punisher is also a really good pick into the Thing. So here is where my team messed up. They put themselves into a really bad position going over here. And now this puts my Rocket into a bad position where he wants to try and apply heals, because if they die, we get put in a really bad spot, especially given the fact that we've just used Strange Portal to get back to the point. And because of this and because of the bad positioning, Rocket ends up accidentally taking too much damage from the Phoenix and ends up getting picked. And this ultimately happened not because just the Rocket was standing here in this position, but because our tanks were trying to chase kills when the point of this strategy isn't to chase kills, it's to run the clock out. If my tanks would have positioned here and just held the corner and held the angles, we would have survived longer on this first point. So now all I'm trying to do is hopefully try and build my ult up and stall out the point a little bit longer. And I do get my ult, and as soon as I use it, I get grabbed and I get bursted, and this is what I was afraid of. This is also why when your teammates die, you put the rest of your teammates who are still alive in a really crappy situation where then they're not able to use their ults when they want to, and they have to use them, you know, like I did there, where I would have preferred to have waited till my health was at least over half before using it. Because anytime I use my Captain America ults under half health, there's a chance I'm going to get bursted down like I was there, and I waste it. But it's okay. The strategy is still viable, and right now, you know, we still ran the clock out 2.5 minutes, and now we're going back to try and hold the convoy at the choke for longer. So here, I'm trying to now see the position I can go in. I look to see what my teammates are up to. I see Doctor Strange ulting, and I know that I want to follow up immediately on what he just did. Getting a free pick on one of the supports, I am standing on the objective to try and make sure the convoy isn't moving. And as my team goes and starts taking a fight because their support ult had forced their way through and forced space to be taken, I stand on the objective, I recap it and I take it so that way it stops moving. And then I rejoin with my team to try and see if there's anything I can do to help them. Seeing that the support ult just came back, I go back to try and kill the Luna, and I get blown up by the Phoenix because I didn't realize that she had died. Luckily, I get res. It was still on me for dying, though. I shouldn't have died that quickly, but still, nonetheless, our goal is to just keep the convoy from moving. Once again, we lost one here, which is really unfortunate, but also at the same time, I'm just trying to go to the convoy and pull attention, pull resources, and keep it from moving. I have less survivability though, so once I start to take a good chunk of damage, I get out. I go back to my team, and as you saw, I get back to my team, I regain my health, I stabilize, I come back, and I jump on the convoy again, and once again, it's not moving. I still have an ability to get out just in case I need it, just like that. I get back around a corner, I get my health back, I stabilize, there's an ult, I go back in. This is how you cycle yourself, especially as a dive tank, and what most dive tanks get wrong. They're always going in and being like, heal, 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 nonstop heal. But it's much easier for your team to just go back, stabilize, and go back in. And as you see, I didn't lose much space on this convoy by doing that. It's still in the same spot, and Strange gets another ult in literally the exact same choke point, right? This is the reason why you jump out and stabilize, because if you die in there, it's going to take you 30 seconds to get back to that point. But if I jump behind a wall and stabilize, I'm back on the payload in seconds. So here, once again, once I hear Once I hear Emma Frost ult and I know that it's going to break my shield, there's not much I can do in this situation. What I'm thinking to myself in this position is I'm going to get around to the side to see if there's other places I can provide value. But more importantly, I'm not going to be taking damage from that Emma Frost. If I'm taking less damage, then that means my teammates have more access to resources from our supports. So if I'm not taking damage, then that means more of the healing can go towards my Punisher who's ulting right now, or towards my other tanks who are at the front line. And there, because of that, we're able to secure a kill. One of the biggest problems I see people have that I'm going to make a video on soon is that collectively, as a team, people take too much damage. And a lot of times people think they're not getting healed, but they're actually actively being healed at that moment. But they take so much damage that they die when the support reloads, or they die while being healed because there's just too much damage output. So a lot of times what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to utilize health packs. I'm trying to stay behind cover. I'm trying to take less damage overall, so that way my team isn't struggling for healing. So here, once again, I've died very little. I've been staying on this convoy. I am not letting it move from this choke point. We're not trying to secure kills. We're not trying to do anything crazy. We're just trying to hold the convoy down. And triple tanks works really well for this. Here, we luckily get a pick, which means we have an advantage. So then I'm going to try and go on the back line, apply more pressure. And they back up knowing that there's nothing they can do, and we start getting some picks, luckily. Always remember the game is about the objective, right? It's not about securing kills. Securing kills is great to hold the objective down, but there's other strategies you can do that don't involve always securing kills. And that is this one right here. Once again, you see Emma holding down the convoy, and once she starts to get pressured out, I jump in right after her. As long as you keep that rotation of tanks going forward, taking damage, and then once they use their resources and they need to get out, they back out, they get health, they stabilize, another tank cycles back in. And once that tank uses their resources, they get to a bad position and then they need to back out, the third tank then steps in. You keep this process of rotation going, and eventually, at some point, it just makes it so it feels impossible to move that convoy. Here, once again, they're using ults to try and force their way through the point. We give up some space temporarily. I'm trying to shield for my Punisher to allow him to hopefully to secure kills. I see the cloak and daggers there. Maybe I can get something, but I realize it's not safe and I back out. I'm going back to the convoy. I'm bringing the fight towards the convoy. And even though we lost people, we're still holding the objective down. I have my ult just in case. I try to use my ult to save Dr. Strange, and unfortunately he dies, but we do manage to get 2 picks on their supports, which is huge value. I go back in knowing they don't have supports. And once I know a support is walking out of spawn, I try to pick on that one. And as you can see here, this is what I'm talking about and the point of triple tank. Now, all we realistically need to do is win one fight. Like, we've run the clock out as much as we can. And now, especially with them having one support down, we're just trying to shut them down collectively by hitting them with ults all at once and over time. Follow up on the squishies. And through the sheer power of ults alone, we're able to overpower them and hold down the point. After recording the first video, I wanted to try triple tank on convoy defense again to prove that it was successful. It is successful and that it does work. But I also wanted to test it on a map where we were offense first on convoy, because of the fact that I didn't want to do it where I gave the enemy the idea to run triple tank, so that way I didn't have to deal with it myself. So I'm going to just go over my play here as once again as playing cap on convoy here with Penny and Rocket and Emma and Phoenix and Cloak and Dagger. Once again, the same as before. Penny's really good at holding down space. Emma's really good at applying damage and dealing with flanks. I'm really good at stalling the payload. Rocket's really great at solo healing, and Cloak and Dagger is really, really good at building her ult super quick. And Phoenix is once again just great burst damage. So here I'm waiting. I'm trying to see when I want to go in. And I see the convoy moving. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop the convoy because they aren't really playing aggressive. And you see me here. I'm not jumping. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just holding the convoy down. I know that a lot of people think that the game is about just trying to go in, just kill, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm dancing around the convoy, using it as cover, trying to dodge their attacks and take as minimal damage as possible. And then once they start to pressure me out, then I use my abilities to get out. And I get healed up by my teammates. I stand in the bubble, I come out, I stabilize, and I go back in. My goal is to mostly pull attention and stop the convoy. I'm not trying to get kills I know I can't get. I could probably be throwing my shield or doing a little bit more to like charge my ult, but nonetheless, my main goal is stopping the objective. And as you can see, it's been almost a minute and the convoy hasn't really gone anywhere. This is the point of having tanks on defense, especially, is to hold the objective down. Because of this, my DPS have more, or my one DPS has more space to work. She has a lot more areas that she can have access to that the enemy doesn't have access to. Here, we're applying pressure, holding the convoy down. I hear squirrels come out, and I try to get out to safety while I'm low. I come back out and I stabilize, and you can see now it's my tanks, my other tank's turn. Emma's going in, Penny's holding it down. The Penny is also really good at shutting down Cap from being able to have access to a lot of areas. The rocket team up makes it even better. And now that I see that my support is ulting, now I can try and secure kills. Now I can try and make a play because now I know the rest of my team is going in off of that same ult. I quickly target the rocket because it's an easy pick. I see the squirrel girl. And now I'm just seeing who's outside of spawn. But I want you to notice here that like once I start to take damage, I get out. I am not trying to greed, die, and ruin the strategy. The strategy isn't to secure kills. The strategy is to live and hold down the objective. So here I go again. I am just holding the objective down. I'm letting my tanks worry about trying to secure kills. I am attacking only the people who overextend and put themselves out of position. Here I see the Cap on my backline, so I see if there's anything I can do to help. And now that I see that Luna's ulting, I know they're going to play aggressive. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on sitting on the objective and making sure it doesn't move. Once I know it's stopped, then I go back in to sort of help my team. I try to take advantage of the rocket ult and try and see if I can attack the Luna. And luckily, Phoenix gets her. Once again, sitting on the objective, I am attacking the Scarlet Witch. I stop the objective from moving. And I quickly secure the kill on the Scarlet Witch. Now, once again, my team is actually losing this fight, but because of the fact that I am playing Cap, which is part of this strategy, I'm holding down the objective, making sure it doesn't move anywhere. And this means that they have to come all the way back, recap the objective, and then get it moving. This is why you never forget about the objective. And this is why the solution to dealing with Captain America is to deal with him first. You want to make sure he's not doing this.
Can't beat battlefield medicine.
So now after I shut it down, knowing that my team is not back yet and knowing they need time, I ult not to try and secure kills, not to try and get any eliminations, or not even to save anyone, just to save myself and keep the objective here longer. I try attacking the Luna to see if I can kill her, but unfortunately with bubbles and healing, there's just not so much I could do there. So now I come back out, and once again, now that I'm coming back out, I have other tanks to take my place. Emma and Penny come up, and I go back to find my supports. And see how I go back to my supports? I get behind cover, I stabilize. I see my supports coming, I know they're coming back from spawn. She hits me with a lot of heals, and once she does, now I can go back out and I can help my team. I throw my shield to get some ult charge. I start to take too much damage, and then I get stuck in there for some reason. I grab health. I'm still trying to stay alive. I know the rocket res station is up, but I don't want to use the rocket res station. I would rather use it on someone who couldn't get out, right? I am always trying to not use that resource unless I have to. So here I am. Once I feel like I can go back in and maybe regain help with my team, I see Penny. Penny had ulted, and she didn't ult necessarily to once again get kills. She ulted to try and buy more time to stall that objective for longer. Once she got low, she used her ult to stall, just like how I use my ult to stall the objective as well. Here, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And now that we're stalling the objective and I see the Squirrel Girl's free pick, I try to go for her and apply pressure, and now that we have an ultimate on point, it's easy kills.
You're never alone.
Down to 30 seconds.
You can see how, with only 30 seconds left, there's not much more that they can do. They've been trying to push the convoy, but they haven't been successful. Even securing kills, it doesn't really matter, because the point is, if you're not killing the people who are stalling the objective, it doesn't really matter.
The final 10 seconds.
Here I go to distract the backline, because they don't have a whole lot of time. I'm trying to provide a lot of pressure to their backline as they're putting themselves in a bad situation where they feel like they need to rush. So here I get frozen, unfortunately, and I wasn't expecting the storm damage, so unfortunately I die. But my team, luckily, with the use of the rocket amplifier, are able to secure it without me. I quickly switched to Strange because, once again, as the first tank to die, I now switch to Strange in case I need a TP back. But as you can see, it didn't matter. We didn't even push it all the way to the third point. The enemy team was a really good team. Like, we tried our best to try and cap the third point. It didn't work. And on defense, I told them, and I was like, hey guys, can I get you to try this strategy with me? And they were like, yeah, we're so down. Let's do that. And even then, even though we struggled on, to even try to get to the third point, we held them down completely on the first point. And that was by cycling which tanks were taking damage, coming back out and stabilizing, keeping it playing safe, playing to live, and just holding the objective down. Ultimately, that's always your goal, and that's always what I'm trying to do, no matter what role I'm playing. I'm always thinking to myself, how can I hold this objective down? And testing this strategy out, it works really effectively, and I know I have to share this information with you guys, but I am kind of sad the moment it catches on and then everybody starts doing it. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that it worked in more than just one game. A lot of times what's going to win games isn't going to be something super flashy. I've said this a bunch of times on stream and in videos I think before, but the big plays that make great for, TikTok or short clips or whatnot are really cool. They're really flashy, but realistically, that's not what you want to do in order to win the game. If all we did all game was secure 0 kills, but just keep cycling over and over again of rotating in tank after tank after tank and just holding down the convoy, it wouldn't look very flashy, but it is very effective. So on Convoy, if you're ever up against a team that just seems like it's very difficult, it seems like they're overpowering you, try running triple tank on defense on Convoy, and just remember to rotate in and have your tanks take turns as to who's in there, and have really good solid supports able to stabilize you at the back. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. It's basically sort of an evolved cap on Convoy strategy. And yeah, give it a shot in your games and let me know how it goes. And thanks for watching.